Welcome to the Good Games Podcast, episode number 152. This is the show, of course, where we talk about video games, video game-related things. I'm your host this week, Alex Nunez, and joining me this week is none other than Khalik Dorset. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm pretty good. Pretty good. I've realized it's come to the attention of people on the show that I am possibly a hypocrite, and I tend to say things that I later change, usually the next week.
Okay.
And that'll be very apparent in what I've been playing this week. But yeah, no, everything's pretty good, man. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Can't complain. Although, based on what you said, I don't know, it just reminds me of something one of us said last week. I don't know. I sense a recurring theme or something.
Okay.
But I guess we'll find out and dig deeper later into the episode.
Yeah, I guess we will.
And I guess we should note at the top here that we are without Frank this week. He's off doing other things, enjoying life, as it were, and couldn't make time to join the show today. But he will be back next week, talk about more gaming stuff. And I guess with that being said, why don't we just get into what we've been playing, because we've been playing some stuff. And you in particular been playing something. I don't know if you want to start off with your regret,
no,
or this other new experience that you had in gaming.
Yeah, let's talk about that one. Let's talk about the latter. So,
okay.
As I made clear on the podcast before, you have been trying to get me to try out MOBA gaming for a few weeks now, right?
Right, yeah.
And we just never could set up a time, so I stated live on the podcast that we should try to set some time up. And we did. And we were able to play Paragon on the PS4.
Yeah.
And I've said before that I've never played a MOBA before. I am a little bit familiar with the genre. I have good friends that play like League of Legends and things like that, but I don't know. I never really know how the genre worked. And we got together and we played two games. I ran through the tutorial. I mean, I can't say this for most MOBAs because this is the only one I've played so far. But one, it was a lot more interactive than I thought it was. A lot more interactive. Okay. Because I understand the MOBAs you click. I mean, maybe like a game like League, you have your keyboards and sometimes I think about MOBAs, I think of it the same way I think of MMOs, where you have a screen full of items or like a skills and attacks, different icons. You can do all these things. And you click on it, you click the key, and then you just click which direction you want them to go in, and it kind of goes that way. And I mean, it's possibly not true. I mean, I cannot say, but that was my thought process going into this. It did with Paragon, which it plays like a third-person shooter almost. I mean, really, it is third-person shooter. Well, some character, I can't remember. Every character doesn't have.
No, there are a mix of ranged and melee characters, so it's not all like they're all shooting stuff. Some of them are just like swinging around a sword or other weapons and things like that.
Yeah. And we went in there, and we played two matches. One against bots, and the second one was against real AI players, right?
No, it was all bots.
Oh, it was all bots.
Matches.
Okay.
Yeah. Bots on the enemy team, and then also bots filling out the spots on our team.
Yeah.
The only reason I did that was because I know if we were to go in with people like bots on the enemy team and then people on our team, you might not get a chance to check out certain roles and certain characters that you might want to check out because people want to snipe your character, or there's a chance of that happening. So I want to avoid that. You have freedom to pick your character and kind of figure it out or feel it out from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean that was a excellent strategy because it felt like I've never played video games playing a MOBA. It really did, because I remember asking you so many questions. Like, all right, what works? Like, what classes are we picking? And the first time, I believe I picked a support character, and you picked...
I think so,
yeah. You picked a attacker? I don't know the classes, like how they...
I picked what's commonly referred to as a carry. I was playing Sparrow, and you were playing Gadget, who I believe is support. I don't know too much about all the characters in Paragon, but I definitely know Sparrow is usually like a carry role.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny. We'll get to that when we talk about the second game. But I remember like going into it, and I'm trying to play it like a third-person shooter, where I was like, oh, I'm just rushing, beat up a bunch of guys, and just duck out. And you made it very clear, do not do that. You shouldn't get too far by yourself, especially since you're support, and they will come and beat the shit out of you. And this happened quite frequently during the first game until I kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I didn't really think those games would be that long. I mean, we played about 40 minutes first time, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Which is, it almost, you don't notice the time as it goes by because you're always active. You never really stop doing anything in that game.
Yeah.
And I mean, just playing support, I had a great time. I mean, once I figured out that I have to just stand back and let other people, i.e. people like you to carry, handle it, I feel like we started getting into a groove, and eventually we were able to end up winning that first game, and I just thought it was a blast. And then we played the second game, and I think I was carried this time. You were support.
Yeah. And
that didn't go well for us. That one didn't go well for us. I don't necessarily think I wouldn't blame myself, but because I just think they had our number this time because they were really.
I think a big part of it too is that the AI is pretty bad, and we had AI, of course, on our side, and they weren't, bearing their load.
Yeah. No, they were multiple times that we had to go and back them up, and it didn't make a difference. It really didn't.
Mm-hmm.
We were just
we
were kind of taking the brunt of it. But hey, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I loved it. Honestly, I loved it. It was something brand new. Never really tried before. Just even small stuff. The fact that you level up in battle, the card system in there where you have these cards that boost your stats.
Yeah.
That stuff. Yeah, it's. Yeah, I mean, it's basically like it is. There's so much strategy involved, and it almost feels like war. It feels like real combat, even. That I'm a person who doesn't really like strategy games. I can't. It's hard for me to get into that type of genre. Mm-hmm. But it felt that a MOBA is a very nice mix between an action and a strategy game.
Yeah, it's also very compact because each match is its own campaign almost. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, I can imagine no two are that different. I mean, I understand the maps. At least the map we're using is the same. And but. I just seeing a variety of characters, and we didn't even scratch the surface. I mean, I know you've played a lot more than I have, but I was loving it. I was loving it. It's really cool. And I would like to say I want to go back one day. I want to go back and try it. Just messing around a little bit. Other things are taking up my time, but it's still I've just scratched the surface, and it's just really, really dope, man. And I got to thank you, for introducing me to this genre.
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll try Paragon a little more. I want to see where I go with it, and then I'll decide if I want to try another one. Because I just want to get a little more in depth, just understand a bit more. It does feel like fighting games. It really does feel like fighting games when you're playing this type.
Yeah,
I think they're very similar, very similar. I guess people would probably say Overwatch is one of the closest things to it in terms of another genre of game.
Yeah, I think Overwatch is very MOBA inspired as well, even though it is not a MOBA per se, but there are elements there for sure.
Right. And I mean, that's another game that I haven't tried and I would like to. But yeah. I mean, that's all I really got to say. I've only played 2 hours worth, but it was just so cool. Honestly, so cool. And I'll get back to it real soon.
Yeah. I've been meaning to get back into it too, but again, like you said, there's a lot of things that are distracting me from the game that I'd want to jump back into, but I'd rather finish some of the other single player stuff that I have on my plate right now and on my backlog. But yeah, Paragon is cool, and if you do want to check out some other MOBA stuff, Vainglory is pretty good. It also has some very good tutorials, and it's even more streamlined version of a MOBA. It is still top down, but it's on your phone, and I don't think matches usually take as long, but maybe they do on maybe the higher end of play. I have no idea, but it is just one lane, and I think the tutorial stuff that they have in Vainglory is very good for it. Even just to explain what MOBAs or how MOBAs play in general. You can get a pretty good idea of just learning or watching the tutorials in Vainglory.
Okay. All right. I'm duly noted. I'm going to check that out.
Very cool.
All right. And with that, I guess we can move on to my other game I played.
Oh yes, your aforementioned Regret. of your, I guess, blatant hypocrisy.
Well, let me be clear. I don't know if I regret this. It's definitely hypocrisy, but I don't think I regret this.
Okay.
I purchased Injustice 2 over the weekend.
Okay. This sounds very familiar.
Yeah, Injustice 2, which I've said multiple times that I do not like Warner Brothers' strategy. Their DLC strategy. Mm-hmm. I felt that sometimes they sell incomplete products. Batman Arkham Knight really soured me on this kind of thing. Just the way how they'll sell you all this DLC and a lot of it is useless. And some of it, they would promote these story packs that you could beat in 10, 20 minutes. So going into this, I was like, all right, what am I working with here? And let me also have to be clear. What convinced me was last week when you, Alex, were talking about the game.
Uh-huh.
And also one of my young nephews really almost begging me to play the game. I said, all right, I'll try it. I'll try it. Like, what's the worst? Like, how bad could it be?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'll try to refrain from saying too much that you said last week. I think this is a really solid game. Really solid.
Yeah.
Really solid, like, package altogether. I mean, the story mode I think it's really cool. Story mode's dope. Better.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it. I finished it and got both endings.
Okay.
Man, I don't want to say anything about the endings. One of them's a little
right. Like that bad ending is pretty bad. Like I don't know how crazy like DC stuff gets because I'm not like super into the comics or even the animated stuff all the time. But I thought that was kind of fucked up.
No, that's
from a story perspective.
No, that's dark. That's insanely dark. What happened? It really feels like if you're playing like one of those like 999 games. It's just terrible. It's bad. Let's just say that. But leading up to it, just the story behind Injustice is really interesting. I'm not a big fan of. I'm usually not a fan of like evil Superman stories because I'm a big Superman fan, and I do like the way some of it's justified in this series. At least with Superman. I mean, his character. I mean, he's not right, but like he's not like black and white with his stuff.
Yeah,
like there's levels to it that he actually wants to do something good, but it's evil. But yeah, I thought the story was great. We talked about the graphs before. I'm with you on the facial animations. Really awesome, really awesome. I almost don't notice it after a while.
Yeah. It's one of the things that really makes this game feel like truly next gen is those faces just look so damn good. And I think it's also like I think I said last week that I've seen that kind of technology in other games, but I don't think it matches the level that they've reached in Injustice 2. Like it just looks so much better than ever before.
Dude, the micro expressions, some of them, like I mean, obviously you have Harley Quinn, who's probably who might be the best one in the game in terms of facial expressions. But this is one scene I remember between Superman and Supergirl. And Superman, he does this, like this half, almost a smirk or a wince to the side. Like he turns, like he shifts his face to the side and you can see he's uncomfortable. Like in a way that you would see from a normal human conversation. And I said, no one's going to talk about this. That might be my favorite part of the game. Where you can see him working how he's going to try to justify himself to her.
Mm-hmm.
And he could tell it's difficult, but I was like, that's, dude, so cool. Really cool. The costumes some of them are okay in here. I mean, I'm not even talking.
Which ones do you have problems with?
Let's see. Superman's whole head thing is weird.
The half cowl. Yeah, I never really loved that.
Yeah, that one's kind of a problem.
Although, but I think by default, if you pick him in like versus mode or something, he doesn't have it. Which
is weird. It's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
I think so. I think some of them are pretty fine. I think Green Lantern looks kind of ugly. I'm not a big fan of his. Aquaman's is a little bland.
Yeah, and like the gear situation doesn't seem to help him at all. At least from what I've seen, there's nothing that like really spices up the look of Aquaman.
Yeah. So like, let's dive into this gear stuff. I think I have your problem now with loot. I think I have your problem. Because I'm playing Injustice 2, and I'm always begging for more loot because I want to customize my characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of them look really cool. Like I have a few different things with Blue Beetle, and some of the armor is different. But there's some times where like Aquaman's a guy where they're not too much different. He doesn't have a lot going on. He doesn't have a shirt. So
yeah, he's just got like, I don't know, shoulder straps around him, and that's pretty much his torso. That's it.
yeah. So when you actually do change like his chest armor, it might change how the straps are there, but they're not really gone. So that was okay. And the Green Lantern is one I hated. Like all of his look the exact same. Like so far, they just look like there's too much variation there.
I'm kind of okay with. I don't have a problem with Green Lantern the way he looks in the game. Although, like as soon as I got enough money, I bought the Jon Stewart skin.
Yes,
because that's way better, and it's got the voice as well.
I mean, I gotta be completely honest here. Look, man, I purchased that Ultimate Pack.
Oh my god. How much was that altogether?
It was $40, okay? It was
in addition to the game.
It's in addition to the game. Because, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I think I'm having more fun initially with this game than I did with Street Fighter 5.
Yeah. Well, there's more to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more to do. I mean, the first time it was just like online, and I mean, the story mode wasn't really there. They have those prologues. And I think the loot system's fun. The multiverse is so cool. Like, I think it's a lot of it's like glorified arcade mode. Let's be honest. It's really a lot of modes are just arcade mode with certain conditions applied.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like twists to the formula that there sometimes they'll take away your special moves ability, or there's like a sidekick character that you can kind of summon in for different attacks. They do some kind of cool stuff to mix things up in there, so it makes it fun and interesting.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite part of it, especially. I remember I did the last one I did where I was playing with Robin. And I just tried Robin out for the first time. Mm-hmm. And in the story mode, it's like, okay, well, you can't use your character power. It's like, okay, that's one thing. And then one mission said you can't use medium punch. So I said,
although I think they haven't fully thought that thing out, because there was one time where I was doing a multiverse thing, and sometimes you get a meta challenge, right? On top of like just beating the person.
Exactly, yeah.
There was one where I was doing this, like, okay, you don't have access to special moves. But then the meta challenge was land a super move. But unfortunately, a super move is considered a special move, so I don't have access to my super move in that particular fight. So it's like they literally give me a meta challenge that I cannot do. And I was like,
yeah.
But that was like the one instance I saw. I don't know if there's any other things like that are bugged, but hopefully they take note of that and fix that.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I really do love. I understand it's procedural. Maybe part of it's because I'm a DC Comics buff, but it almost justifies how the gear works in the game, where every universe has different. Since they're technically different people, they will look different.
Yeah,
and some of those multiverse missions. I mean, the difficulty is 1 to 5, and then you have the character levels in there, and I've seen some stuff in there which almost seems impossible. Like, it almost seems impossible to do, just in terms of like level. And I haven't tried online yet. Just playing around with just multiverse and do some of the tutorials. And I wish there was a faster way to get XP. Like, I feel like
okay, well, I don't know if you know this, and I feel a little bad telling you, because I feel like it might break your brain, because you have a proclivity for idle games, it seems. And you can kind of play Injustice 2 as an idle game. Okay, so before you go any further, I just discovered this today.
Okay. I know about the...
What modes have you used this feature in?
Well, no. I haven't... No, I looked this up online. I just want to tell you about this. I'm only aware of the AI battles. I just became aware of it today.
Yes.
And I had the same process you did, where, I could just watch the game play itself. That seems quite interesting. And I was wondering what the AI loadouts were about, because for those of you who don't know, every character has 5 custom loadouts that you can give them while, like, as they level up, which is basically just a character reskin and changing their stats. But then there's the AI loadout, and there's 2 for each character that I believe. And I know some of it depends on how you play the character, and then I know some of it you can kind of alter, like their play style in terms you want to be more striking or more defensive. So, yeah, I want to try that out. I definitely want to try that out as soon as possible, just to see how it works.
Yeah, because the AI battles, you can fight like your team of 3 AI characters against 3 other characters, and it's nice that you can fast forward that stuff like up to 4 times, so then they just go real quick. And if you win, you can get like gold loot boxes. But if you lose, I think you can get bronze boxes, and you can get up to 5 boxes per day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also put up a team to defend so that other people can, fight against your team or whatever.
Right.
But you can also do the AI stuff in the multiverse.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you're aware of.
No, I wasn't.
So yeah, when you're doing a multiverse, you can just, when you're doing character select, you just have to highlight the character you want and then press the, whatever, I think it's square on the PS4, and then select your AI loadout instead of your normal loadout, and then that will have the AI just play against the computer and do the multi-stuff, or the multiverse stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the, there's a battle simulator multiverse, and then there's an endless like mode in there, so if I want to level up a specific character up a couple levels, I'll just put them in there and let the AI kind of do its work and grind XP for me while I'm doing other stuff. And you just have to hit X every time the fight finishes, and then the next fight loads up and the AI usually kicks ass, and it's pretty cool because I can grind levels and walk away. It's it's kind of weird. I don't know, but I enjoy it because it takes a while to get to level 20, and you kind of want to get to level 20 because you get access to new abilities, which is strange because you straight up get moves that you don't normally get in the game.
Yeah, I know we haven't talked about that, where not only we could customize, you can customize your character armors, palettes, and, they call it shaders in the game, but you could also get these abilities, and you could equip 2 on a character, some which are completely brand new, or some where it will replace a move you already have. Like, for instance, Green Lantern, instead of throwing like a spiked bowling ball, he'll get this machine gun special move that he had in the previous Injustice. Mm-hmm. So I want to see how far that goes. I know some people have crazy stuff like revival techniques, and it's like, I just wonder how interesting, how, I want to say broken, but I feel it's weird. This game is a little more arcadey. I think more NetherRealm games they feel a little, I don't know if arcadey is the right word, maybe easier to learn at first, maybe because the inputs are simpler, just like a Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to say anything's broken because I'm coming from a different aspect. I know you are as well, where you're playing it, you're like, all right, I don't know how that happened. Like, I feel sometimes I'm still getting used to like the movements in the game, especially how characters move and how certain combos work.
Yeah.
Because it also, during story mode and one of the battle simulator multiverse mode, and Brainiac's he's a pain in the ass to fight.
He feels real cheap. Yeah.
No, he feels super cheap. Like some of his moves, I say, is that like legal? Can I actually do some of those? Or is the computer only allowed to do that? Because this seems unfair. It seems unfair. Yeah. Which is, it just means get good. Because there's a lot of characters I do not know how to play as. But I started off with Supergirl. You was talking about her before. Yeah. I think she's really good entry point to get in. Her and Batman are pretty easy. Superman as well. I think Superman's pretty simple to manage. Mm-hmm. And I mean, beyond that, I still want to learn most of the roster. I haven't really touched everyone yet. I'm just doing tutorials now and kind of getting a sense of it. I can't do Harley Quinn right now. I think some of her, I don't know, the timing of some of her moves I still have to learn. And that's a lot of things in this game. It's just timing and exactly how it works. But yeah, I actually really like the game.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty easy to jump into a character, practice some strings, and get a pretty good feel for them.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. I think some characters are just a little more trickier. Like I was talking about Robin before, where I think some of his stuff is pretty simple. But when you throw in the way his Batarang works, like that, like the timing of that was really throwing me off. I didn't know how to use it. But yeah, so far, I mean, the character I'm really interested in is Captain Cold, because he is, from what I'm able to see, he's not a combo heavy character. Like, he's not meant to, like, he's not a big character on normals. Like, he seems to be more based into special moves. Mm-hmm. Which, that's cool. I mean, for this kind of game, it's really interesting. But yeah, so far, I'm really liking the game. Oh, and I put time into the mobile game. I don't really have a lot to say. I already downloaded it before, played a little more than I did. And it's just cool. Our style's different. the art style is different, and I think I like the art style of the mobile game more than actually like the main game.
You think? What do you mean? In what sense?
Well, I just mean some of the character art, right? Like, for example, I think Wonder Woman.
Oh, like the 2D art, like the card art.
Yeah, the 2D art, not necessarily 3D models. I should have been clear. Okay. Just like when you look at when you have a hero or whatever, a character card, the art's different, and I like some of those. Like one of them looks cool. I got a Scarecrow, which I think looks. The Scarecrow in the game is probably one of my favorite designs, but the Scarecrow in the mobile game was pretty good as well. So yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about it. It's the same as if you play Mortal Kombat X or Injustice 1. Slightly different. There's a little more options in battle. Like you can actually do 5-hit combos, which is cool. So
8 hit. I can get 8 hits. I don't know what you're doing, man.
I played the tutorial and then I stopped playing the game. Then I'm back. So I know I'm missing stuff. But
yeah, I've played a fair amount of the game, and I'm at the point where I hate the mobile game. I can't stand it anymore. Yeah, it's just annoying.
Yeah, I get it.
Because at first you can kind of, if you know the long combo, you can just do that over and over again. But at the point, it feels like the computer it feels like can interrupt me at any time. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes when I'm doing the combo, it doesn't always come out. But then on the other hand, like supers are unblockable, which seems very unfair.
Yeah, right? Like that. Yeah. And it is weird stuff where, because it's almost turn-based in a way, where if I do a combo and then press my super, they will do their combo, and then I'll have to wait until my super to activate. Mm-hmm. And that never gets unannoying. It's very it kind of, it doesn't piss me off. I think that's too extreme of a word or a term, but it's something you expect. Like, okay, it's a mobile game. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's close, but it's not there.
Yeah,
it's not there. So I'm pretty much, the only thing I'm doing, I'm loading it up just to do the operations, which is just like, okay, set these guys on a mission, and then check in like, I don't know, 5 hours later, whatever.
Yeah,
because I don't want to play the game anymore.
Funny, me too. I did that right before we actually started recording today, because I don't think we'll play for at least a couple days. Mm-hmm. And it's just cool. It's like you get your experience. I have a few gold characters in that game already. So
oh damn, okay.
I got all these crystals. You link once you link the mobile game with the console game. I said, okay, let me try to see if there's any cross unlocks, and not really. You just get grid.
No.
You get grid, which is okay. An alternate costume for Cyborg.
Yeah,
which is. To get a little nerdy here, I've never heard of the character until today. Well, not today, until I saw him.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So that's how you know how obscure this is. Like if I don't know who this guy is, and I had to Google it. I was like, yeah, this is. I thought he was made up for the game, because that's how uninteresting. I mean, I'm not a fan of Cyborg in the game, really, but that's story for. Okay, let me ask you this. Is there any character you just don't like, or you're not really grasping?
Like, just their character?
Yeah, like if you try to play them, you're like, I'm not feeling this.
Oh, to play? I don't know. I haven't really, again, like you haven't dealt with the entire roster. Mm-hmm. But like if I had to say like one character I'm least interested in is probably Cheetah.
Okay. Funny enough, people are saying that she is one of the best characters in the game right now. Of course.
Yeah, of course. So I've heard.
Yeah, that's how it always works. But yeah, I gotta say, I love the whole package. I think it's a pretty solid game. Pretty solid. I mean, right now, I think I like it a little more than Street Fighter V. Right now, mm-hmm. I'll see how it'll go down the line, and especially with more characters coming out. I mean, I just love that loot system. That loot system got me.
Have you joined a guild yet?
No, I haven't. So I was thinking about how I was going to do that, because I was on NeoGAF. I mean, I'm a member of NeoGAF, and I was trying to see if I could get on through there. I don't know how that's going to work out.
Well, you can just like load up the guild system in the game, and there should be a number of like open guilds that you can join.
Oh no, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I'm very well aware. I was just...
Yeah, the only problem with like if you're going to go into like something like NeoGAF or some other site, the guild is capped at 50 members.
Yeah.
So that stuff tends to fill up fairly quickly for like a lot of the bigger communities. So unless like somebody drops out, it's hard to get into one of those unless they have like overflow guilds going on.
Well, I will say they have a topic about it, and they keep making new guilds.
Okay.
Because they keep filling up.
Yeah.
I do like that they've called some of them the House of Elves.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what that was from or who was like, who's running that. But yeah, I saw House of L. There's Justice Leagues and all this other stuff going on.
Yeah. No, I meant like House of Elves as in like the loss.
Oh, I saw EL, so I thought it was like a Superman thing or something. The House of Kal-El and all that shit.
Yeah, it was a pun, so it's LS.
I get it.
Okay.
I see now.
All right, we're going.
I thought it was just, pure comic book nerdery.
Yeah, I think we need to move on because But I will join a guild. I'll join a guild because I want to get some of those guild objectives to see those multiverse bosses, those guild bosses, I believe.
Yo, the guild bosses are cool. So I can I guess discuss this. Well, because the first thing I wanted to say is do guilds because you can check into a guild, and whenever your guild does stuff, you get just loot boxes for checking in with the guild.
Awesome.
So that's a good way to get boxes. But there is the guild's multiverse, which is essentially a harder version of the multiverse.
Yeah.
And you cannot do any of the AI stuff in the guild multiverse. You have to play for real. But occasionally on a particular guild objective, there's going to be a boss, and the boss has a ton of health. And it pretty much demands your entire guild kind of focus this boss down to get his damage.
Yeah.
So you have the option to play against one of these bosses by yourself, or you can rope in some of your guild members to help you. If you do it by yourself, you're just basically fighting one-on-one and trying to do as much damage as you can in a single round. And you can keep retrying it over and over again and just basically do a war of attrition against the boss until you get the amount of like damage needed to kill the boss. But it's cooler when you go in with guild members because anyone that you have on your side in your guild, one of you is going to fight the boss. And while that person is fighting the boss, the other people, I was in there with 3 people total. Mm-hmm. So I was one of 2 people on the sidelines watching the fight, and the other people that are watching the fight that are not contributing directly, they have these abilities that are on cooldowns, and then as you're watching the fight, you can like trigger these things. And I don't know what determines what abilities you get, but the one I had was I could just throw out a health pickup on the screen every couple of seconds. So as my dude and my guild member was doing damage and he was getting low, I could just throw out health stuff for him to fill up as he's fighting the boss. I had an option to like shoot out rockets at the opponent, and they kind of track, but if like they're moving around too much, it won't hit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do. There's probably other debuffs and buffs that you can throw out, but it's kind of cool because you're essentially buffing your team member as they're doing this fight. And I don't know if this is universal for all the guild fights, but at one point, one of my guild members, the guy who was fighting the boss, they got like knocked off of the stage, and then one of the other people that was watching with me, they got pulled into the fight, and now they were fighting the boss.
Whoa.
So I was like, okay, like it didn't have anything to do with the guild member's life bar, because they were pretty much full up because we were healing him up. But yeah, like I don't know, he just got knocked off, and like almost like Marvel vs. Capcom style, someone else got tagged in. I was like, okay, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, wow. All right.
But yeah, it was like it was a cool twist, like just doing the boss fight and the other people have stuff to do while that fight is going on. I was like, all right, that's fucking dope.
I see. I like that because I didn't know if it was just a spectator mode, but now knowing that, yeah, I'm definitely gonna give that a try because like I wonder if that happens every fight though. What you were saying about someone tagging in, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll check that out really soon. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't got too much to say. I'm gonna keep playing. I need this loot. I want to customize my characters, and also I even nerd out at the colors because even the colors sometimes are references to stuff that yeah, some of them are so obscure that like a layman wouldn't know exactly like where it goes. Like name one of your favorites that stood out to you. One of Superman's colors is Mon-El. If you look at it, it's just like like a red overall red costume, but his Superman logo is blue. Same with his boots.
Okay.
Mon-El is a Daxamite. He's a character who he's basically a Kryptonian, except he's instead of kryptonite, he's weak to lead. So he shows up on Earth. This is such an old story, but he shows up on Earth years ago and hangs out with Superboy, but he gets sick. And the only way to make sure he'll be cured is he has to go to the future, the year 3000, and join the Legion of Superheroes, which is basically a superhero fan club, which is like all these kids love retro superheroes, and they decided to be superheroes in the year 3000.
Okay.
Yeah, that is literally, yeah. So, like, the dude has he doesn't show up a lot, and it's just very, like, I didn't think they would go that deep into it. So I was like, okay, that's a cool one. Oh, and also, I got to say this one. A lot of Brainiac's colors, he not only does he have, like, the color that most people know him as from, like, the Super Friends cartoon, but he has the colors of his sons. Yeah, Brainiac has children.
Okay.
Yeah, which I thought that was actually kind of cool. But yeah. So I mean that stuff's all right. That stuff's pretty good. I since I am getting the characters, I will wait to see. It looks like Red Hood. We don't have this in the news, but it looks like Red Hood might be the first character to come out.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna just keep going, and yeah, I'll probably update every now and then.
Yeah, I'm still playing. I've been doing a lot of that this week. I participated in like a week 1 Injustice tournament, in which I went 0-2, because, man, there are people that play that game and they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, who do you play, by the way?
Right now, the most I've been playing is Robin.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like the first match I played against a Dr. Fate, and I just was outzoned the entire time. I was like, oh my god, I never faced a zoner like this, and how do I get in? And I started coming up with some stuff and like using his Batarang to teleport, but I didn't do it fast enough and just got owned and destroyed. It was sad.
Ah, man.
Yep.
You'll get there. I think we'll get there. I do have to say that the learning, it's not I won't call it a hard learning curve. It's like any fighting game you get into. You have to learn the differences. And it's a lot of it, I think it's easy to understand. It's just learning those timing again. It's just that timing, like relearning how to play a game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me because I like to mash, and you cannot mash in this game. You kind of have to be accurate with like typing in your strings and then canceling at the right time. It's a little hard for me in particular to get around, but I just have to be accurate with my inputs. Yeah.
There's another thing about inputs where I know the game does the thing where if you hold the button, like if you hold the face button while you're doing the directionals and release it, it will just do the move anyway.
Oh yeah. I turned that off. Turn off release check in the control options because that just screws you up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't even think to look at that because I was getting frustrated. Okay. All right. With that, I should be.
That was a problem in the first Injustice as well.
Yeah.
I'm just like getting moves when I don't mean to get moves. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, okay, got to turn off release check.
Like I was in tutorial mode and I wasn't hitting certain stuff. And I was like, it's this damn release check. I can't get around it. But all right, I can turn it off now. I'm very happy. I think it'll be good. But yeah, I mean that's it for me. I'm done.
Cool.
What about you, man?
Well, besides Injustice, I played a little bit of a game called Topsoil.
Okay.
This is a very cool mobile game. It kind of reminds me a lot of Threes, if you've played that.
Yes.
But essentially, it's kind of like it's very similar because it's got a static grid, and you're basically the metaphor is you've got this like farm, this little patch of land that you're trying to farm and harvest and grow crops and all that. And on the top row of the screen, horizontally, you'll get a series of crops that appear. And you have to basically tap on one of the grid icons on your field to plant that crop. And then there's I think each turn it changes, but there's a handful of crops, from like maybe 2 to 3 or maybe up to 5. And you have to plant all those crops, and then you get a spade icon, which allows you to harvest one of those crops. What you want to do is group up similar crops. So if you get like wheat, if you get like a couple of wheats in there in the beginning, you want to make sure that they are touching each other on the grid, like either up and down or left and right, and make sure they're all in a line. so that when it comes time to harvest, you can just harvest one of those wheats, and any wheat that is all adjacent to the existing wheat will get harvested at the same time. Then what happens when you harvest is that the soil kind of gets turned over and it changes color on the grid. So I think you start out with like a completely green field, but then when you harvest any particular crop, any tiles that crop was on, then it changes to like blue. And then those tiles are now separated from the green tiles. So you can't do what you were doing before where like, okay, I've got these wheats and you can't put a wheat on the blue tile and a wheat on the adjacent green tile and expect them to be harvested at the same time because the soil is not the same. So it becomes this strategy of you managing both the harvesting of the crops and then the soil, because the soil changes over. There's like 3 different colors that the soil changes. And you want to make sure that you kind of want to make everything match at a particular time. And then eventually you're getting crops that take a certain amount of like harvest cycles to grow. So like you'll get these seeds and then they have a little number 2 on them, which means it's going to take like 2 harvest cycles for them to kind of grow. And you just kind of have to, again, it becomes very much about like space management and trying to like, okay, I know this thing is going to take a while to grow. I'm going to put it on this side of the board. And if I get any other seeds, I can put them in that section. And then you're kind of slotting in different crops in different areas. And then when certain sections of the field are kind of separated because they're a different type of soil, it just becomes a big like juggling game. But it's because it's like turn based, it's, you know, you take it at your own pace. It's not like super frustrating or anything like that. But it's a super cool like little puzzle strategy type game, and I was like, oh man, I was very impressed by it, especially with like the visual design, because it has like this very clean look to it, and the iconography is pretty easy to follow. One of my concerns was that I wasn't sure what the cycle was for the soil, because I wanted to know like what was the next color coming up, and then once I paid attention to the visual design of the game, like I saw like the soil, like basically each section will have, it's like raised up, so there's some depth to it.
Yeah.
And if you look at like the layers of soil, you'll see like very clearly like, okay, this top layer is blue, but then if you look on the bottom edge of it, you'll see like, okay, the next layer is yellow. So okay, so this one, once I turn this over, it's going to be yellow, and then that will match up with the other, the rest of the soil here. So it's like, okay, like you can kind of plan out what you're going to be doing and which crops you want to harvest next. And then it's like it becomes like, okay, you have to maximize your harvesting because again, you have limited space on the field. It's not like the field gets any bigger or smaller. It's just that size. So then you can quickly put yourself in a corner by like, okay, I've got too much crops in here and I can only harvest one thing at a time and they're not near each other and I've screwed myself over. But it's very fun. It very much like scratches that threes itch, and I like it a lot.
Oh,
it's very cool.
Dude, this sounds so interesting. Because like from just what you're saying, it seems like some type of mix of Threes, Bejeweled, and like Harvest Moon in some way.
Yeah.
I just got a few questions for you. So I know you said it's a static grid. Like what's the size? Like what is it by?
I don't remember. I want to say it's like either a 4x4 or 5x5.
Okay.
It's a square grid. It's not super huge.
Yeah. Okay. See, I was wondering because it sounds like it would be a mess. Like just trying to line everything up like that. If it was like an 8x8 or something, it just seems like it would be feasible.
It's not that crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Now I had a difficulty question, but I don't think that's necessary because I'm going to assume something similar to like if you're like a threes type game, but
because it seems like the longer you play, there's going to be other like crops that come into play, and I don't think I've seen like even all of the crops that are in there because like at the point when I get to the game when I get game overs is like there's a bunch of like these 2-turn crops or 3-turn crops, and I'm like okay. And I'm sure I have not seen everything that there is in the game.
But besides a spade, because I remember you saying that spade tool comes up, which basically clears a line out. Is there any other like gardening tools, or is it just really the spade?
Not that I've seen. I think it's just a spade, and it kind of indicates like the end of the turn. Like, okay, you've planted all this stuff. Now you gotta try and clear as much as you can. Hopefully that you managed your space well.
Okay. Now I know you play this on iOS, but I'm not sure actually. But is this for Android and iOS, or are you aware?
I actually play it on Android, but it is out on both iOS and Android, and it is free on both. I know it's ad supported, but the ads only come out like I forget. I think after maybe every 4 games or something like that. So it's not like egregious. You just have to watch like a little video. But if you do like the game, you also have the option of just paying like, I don't know, I think it's $4 to not see ads ever again.
Okay.
But it's fairly well done. Like, yeah, I played. I didn't play a lot of it, but I played enough where I know this game is freaking dope, but I have not seen an ad yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
But yeah, I'm probably just gonna pony up the money because like $4 is not much, and this thing is a very good. Just I'm waiting in line for something, or you're one of those bathroom games too. You're just like, okay, I gotta kill some time. Might as well just solve some puzzles.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Well, I'm curious. You said it's $4 to get rid of the ads?
I think so.
Wow, that's okay. Generally a little more expensive than a lot of other games, but it's fine. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it's that enjoyable, I don't think it's a big deal. Yeah, because you have some of those games where it's like, hey, it's just ads. Like you're supporting the people who make it. It's a pretty good game, but.
Yeah, but at least like when you're playing the game, there's no like banner ads or anything that you might like click accidentally or anything like that. It's just like, okay, they tell you up front, like, okay, the ad is going to come in like, I don't know, 4 games. So you know when it's coming, and it's just going to be like a 30-second video or something. And that's it. I don't know how much longer that lasts you, like how many more games that gets you for watching an ad, but they're very good with handling the ad situation for a free game.
Hold on. So you're saying that it tells you. Well, do you get extra games for ads? So do you get like 5 games going on? Like, how does that work?
I think that's how it works. Again, I haven't got to that point yet. Okay. I only played like 3 games or so I never got to the point where like it shows you an ad. But I played enough like to get the gist of the game.
Yeah,
and it's that's my presumption is that okay, you've played this X amount. We're gonna show you an ad, and now you can play more.
All right.
But yeah, Topsoil is a very well done game.
Yeah,
I'm very happy to have played it.
Yeah, I'm always looking for new phone games. I really want to see what's out there. But yeah, honestly, that's gonna be my next one. I think I'm going to try this out.
Cool. So I'm surprised Office Space haven't forced it on to you.
No, I had to stop playing that. I'm going to just for clarity's sake, I had to uninstall that game. I was starting to lose my life. A game where I do nothing was taking over my life. It's yeah. So
they make those kinds of games for PlayStation 4, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Like what? Like name one.
Oh man, I can't remember the name of the game, but I want to say it's like something like business related, like Ad Tycoon or something like that. I forget what it's called.
Wait,
but
hold on, I think I've seen this. Because I know the Tycoon one is becoming real. I know this is real. I know. I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that's rough. That's rough.
You probably get trophies for it too.
Oh, that's upsetting. That's actually upsetting. But okay. Hey, to each their own.
Yeah. But if you don't want to delve into that muck of the idle games, Topsoil is pretty good, especially a little mental exercise. But I think with that's about what we've been playing, and I think it's time that we jump into the headlines of the week. Khalik is going to take us through that, but before he does, definitely head over to innercitygeeks.com. Look at the episode page for this episode, and we'll have all the show notes there with all the links to everything that we're going to talk about. And with that, man, let's get into it.
Heck yeah! I know you want to talk about this. I know you want to talk about it. Let's just get into this.
I wanted to talk about it last week. God damn.
Yeah.
But the timing of this episode is the way it works. Didn't work out. But anyway,
it's unfortunate. So what we're referring to is, just bits of Destiny 2 news. So last week Thursday, as the episode came out, there was an hour-long live stream, basically showing pretty much is going to be in the Destiny 2 campaign. And there's a Paragon article that just lists of so many things. We're just going to go through it. I mean, Alex, I don't know exactly how you want to tackle this, but because there's a lot here. There's honestly a lot here.
There is. I don't know. I kind of feel like just going through it scattershot, just going off the top of the dome, everything I saw in the reveal stream, because there was a lot. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. No. You know what? I think that works. Because I didn't see the stream. I didn't see the stream, but I have the cliff notes. I know.
Okay.
I know a lot of things that happened there, but I think I'm curious about. Well, the first thing I'm really curious about is like some of the cinematics. Like, did they show anything in there?
Yeah, they kicked off the event with a couple of new cinematics. Some stuff that was like really cool, I thought. Even though like the main event was to show off the gameplay, and I was like, oh man, there's more story stuff, and it looks cool, but I want to see the gameplay. But the story stuff that they showed off the beginning was very cool. One of them was actually kind of like an origin story for Commander Zavala, showing him when he first became a Guardian, when he was like first resurrected by his ghost, and it showed him like doing his trials of trying to get to, I guess, the Traveler in the city and fighting enemies and dying and then being revived again, because that's what Guardians do. And I was like, that was fucking really well done. And there was like no words said through that thing. It was just pretty much all visual. And I was like, man, that's dope.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are complaining, at least like Destiny's thing where you want the lore. I mean, the lore came over time. You have your Grimoire cards. Yeah. But beyond that, and maybe some Taken King stuff, it didn't always get it didn't delve really too deeply in like as it could have.
Yeah, at least in the game, like there were people in the community that like would go and pore over all the Grimoire stuff and kind of show what the lore was and describe what was actually happening in the whole world of Destiny. But the majority of people like didn't know anything about what was going on because none of it was surfaced in the game.
Right. Yeah, but like, hey, I mean. Honestly, I mean, that just sounds great now that they're actually getting a little, you don't have to keep pouring through this stuff, that it's all going to be there, or at least a lot of it will be. Yeah, I'm interested in what, like, if they show some stuff about Cade 6 and like what's going on with him, like what his mindset is. Yeah, there's some interesting theories out there. I went through a weird rabbit hole of Destiny 2 stuff. Of the fandom have a lot of theories, but yeah, let's just we can move on. I mean, the next thing, I mean, it looks like you're still going to be on Earth, which makes a lot of sense. But I mean, they got a few different areas. I mean, there's going to be 4 planets still, but in Earth this time, instead of being in like the deep Russia, you're going to be in the European Dead Zone.
Yeah.
And then the 3 other planets are Titan, the moon of Saturn, Io, a moon of Jupiter, and Nessus, a planetoid, which I don't know if that's an actual real planet, funny enough.
No, I think it's just purely in the fiction of Destiny. I think it's been described as a Vex world.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm sure we'll find out more about that in the campaign.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot to say there, but it's still early.
Yeah, it's just like, this is kind of one of the things I was curious how they were going to handle Destiny 2. Like, were they going to use any of the old spaces, like the old planets like Mars and Venus and the Cosmodrome? But it doesn't seem like they are, which is a little weird. But yeah, I guess we're going to be left with these new spaces. And at least for the European Dead Zone, they said it is like the biggest space that they've ever made so far. So that's at least very, that's hopeful for me. Like, I like that they're putting more work into the zones.
Yeah, it's funny when you think about it that some people might say, "Oh, we've been to these planets before, but we didn't explore the whole planets." Like we were just on Earth in like one area that's not a whole country, but it's part of it. So I mean, even with other planets, more to explore. But no, I think it's just to get a different change of scenery. It's going to be really cool.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I mean, the best part. I mean, the coolest thing I heard, at least I believe, is at least the return into orbit will not be as stressful as it was previously in the game.
Yeah, well, you don't have to do it. Like, if you're on Earth doing stuff, you can just directly load up your next event, even if it's on a different planet. So before, you had to, like, every time you wanted to do something new, got to go back to orbit and then launch the next mission or whatever. And then once you finish that mission, you go back to orbit. But now you don't have to do that. So you can just, wherever you are in the game, you just load up whatever the hell it is you want to do next. And that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I remember when I was playing Destiny. That was my one pet peeve that I really wish they could have sped that up sometimes because it's like it was getting quite annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as if we was talking about stuff like that, let's talk about this Crucible stuff because I think that's some of the more interesting things here. So basically, instead of being 6-on-6 combat, it's going to be 4x4 now.
Yeah, every mode is going to be 4 versus 4. There are also a couple of modes that were 3 versus 3. But now they said literally everything is going to be 4v4, which is, I think it's good, but I think I'm going to miss the chaos that comes from the 6v6 modes because they're just, things are popping off, and it's a good mode to jump into when you just don't really care about doing well. You just want to shoot people and that's it. But it seems they're doing they're leaning more into like being a smarter play and more thought out play for the Crucible modes, which is not a bad thing. But yeah, they do some more interesting things with the Crucible. They're implementing callouts directly in the game, so you can see where exactly you are on the map and tell your friends like where you are on the map and where things are happening. So they took a lot of the strategic aspect of the game and are putting it directly in there. Stuff like callouts. They also have like on the top, at least on the footage that I've seen for this one new Crucible mode called Countdown. The new mode is basically just one team has to plant a bomb and the other team has to defend this area from getting a bomb planted. But it's the top of the screen. It gives you a lot of good information, strategically speaking, because you can see everybody's super, what class they're running at that time. If they have a super, like you can tell when someone has a super active at that moment and when it's ready to go. And it just gives you a whole bunch of, they put a lot of thought into revamping the Crucible, which is cool.
Yeah. See, actually, since you're talking about this, I kind of want to talk about the UI a bit. I mean, it's not really in here. A bit of it is, but I mean, just from what you're seeing so far about the UI, like, are you seeing like huge differences? Like, what is your take on it so far?
It's not a huge difference, but it does seem like everything has gotten another like pass on it. So they've done some changes to the UI. Nothing, it seems, is going untouched in Destiny 2. It seems like it is completely new game, at least on the surface level. So it's improved for sure, but it's still kind of the same. Like if you play any of Destiny in year one in its initial incarnation, then you'll be familiar with what's going on in Destiny 2. It's not that big of a change.
Okay, hey, that's good to know. I mean, I really brought it up to talk about these weapon loadouts. Where,
yeah,
these weapon loadouts is definitely going to be a bit different. So they're not separated by primary, special, or heavy anymore. They seem to be kinetic weapons, energy, and power. So seemingly you could have like 2 different auto rifles, like an energy type and a primary type.
Yeah,
and so I think you're going to get some really different kind of gameplay. Oh, they also announced that the grenade launchers are going to be, grenade launchers, which are actually new in the game. And rocket launchers will be in the power slot. So they'll be like power weapons, or I guess which is something equivalent to the heavy. But yeah.
Yeah, but they're also they're moving like old special weapons like sniper rifles, shotguns, and fusion rifles also go in the power slot now, which is a crazy shift, I think.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Man, I actually like the fusion rifles in the game. It was one of my favorite weapons. But yeah, but that's... I mean I think that's a big game changer right there. Just in terms of like the day by days, especially. I mean, a lot of that is still wait and see because I just want to know how that feels. I mean, of course we'll get used to it. But yeah, you got any other thoughts about this?
About the game in general, the only other thing I really want to talk about is the new supers because that stuff looks crazy.
Okay.
Oh my god. So Warlock's the new subclass is going to be the Dawnblade, which so the other thing I also want to talk about too, I know I'm being a little scattershot here.
No, it's fine.
Currently the way Destiny is like each class, Warlock, Titan, and Hunter.
Yeah.
That's not changing. Those 3 are still there. They each have a subclass corresponding to one of the 3 elemental types in the game. And I would assume that they're going to keep that model, so there's still going to be only 3 subclasses. And I assume with that these new subclasses would replace the old the old subclasses with that same element. So I think the general consensus right now is that like stuff like the new Dawnblade subclass for the Warlocks is going to replace the Sunsinger subclass for the Warlock, because that really wasn't used really too much. Like pretty much 99% of people using that subclass use it for its self-resurrection capabilities, and that was about it. So it's nice that we have something that you can actively use, and the Dawnblade, it looks pretty cool. It looks a lot like the current Sunbreaker subclass for the Titans, where they're throwing hammers and stuff. Because the Warlock, they just summon the sword and they can throw like beams of like fire energy and shit all over the place, and it looks crazy. And it seems like they're making all of the supers now roaming supers instead of some of the like the one-shot supers. Yeah. Like the Striker Titan used to have, their super was just a Fist of Havoc, which they just did a huge ground pound and created like this area of effect of electricity around them and killed anybody in that range. Now the Striker Titan is still in Destiny 2, but now you can like trigger it once and then you're still powered up, you're still electrified, and you can do the ground pound again and again, and it's like, what? I didn't expect that. And you can do like this electrical fucking shoulder charge and shit, and it's like, man, that shit is badass.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, I did use the Sunsinger initially because I was playing a Warlock, and I didn't love it. I didn't love it too much.
Yeah, it's like you pop it, and then what I'm gonna do? Throw a bunch of grenades and shit. That's about it.
No, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, I actually like Warlock a lot. So I really want to know how these new classes are going to play, especially since this is based. It's going to be like more airborne. It's like an airborne class. It's based on airborne combat, I believe.
A little bit, yeah. There's like perks in the subclass slide as well for like while you're gliding, which is like the double jump ability for the Warlock. Yeah. You can now aim and like throw grenades and stuff like that, which you couldn't do before.
Yeah. All right. We just got a few more things here. I got this guided game system where essentially you can just create these clans, like these 4-player clans, and if for some reason you don't have enough players, or another player needs help, you could get just a solo player to join in, just to complete this.
Yeah, it's kind of like their answer to people requesting stuff like matchmaking for things like the raids or like Nightfalls, which currently don't have matchmaking.
Yeah.
And which I kind of agree with that decision of theirs not to include matchmaking, but this seems like a very good compromise, because any clan that is already existing can just like, if they're down a person for the raid, or if they just feel like they want to, help some newbies run the raid for the first time, they can just, open up their game to anybody that wants to play, and they can just help them and guide them through the thing. And that's I think that's very cool. They're basically taking what people have been doing with the Sherpa stuff on Destiny, and then they're actually putting it in game. And like now you have full clan support in the game as well, which doesn't exist yet, still crazily enough. But yeah, this like everything they're doing, it's what Destiny should have been from the beginning, honestly. But yeah, it's kind of sad that it took them so long to get to like finally implement all this stuff in the game. So they're making some very good strides.
Yeah. So yeah, one thing about Destiny 2, it will be coming to Windows PC, but it will be through BlizzNet's BattleNet system. So it will not be on Steam. This is not anything new with Blizzard. They've done this before. I believe Overwatch does the same thing. So yeah, yep. So I mean, Alex, you have any opinion on that? I assume, nah.
I mean, I saw it coming, but it is a little surprising because, well, first, it's like the first third-party game to be on the BattleNet client.
Right.
Like, BattleNet is only for Blizzard games. Mm-hmm. But it makes sense since, Destiny is being published by Activision. Activision Blizzard is a singular company. It just made sense to have that on there. But I don't know. I'm curious how that works out, because it seems like BattleNet is just going to be the storefront for the game, and Bungie is still going to handle all the server stuff. So I'm curious how deeply implemented into the BattleNet system it is, because BattleNet is pretty good with like banning hackers and stuff like that. So I don't know if Destiny is going to have a similar situation where, or how like that is going to work, how the moderation is going to work. Is Blizzard going to get involved at all, or is that just going to be all on Bungie's plate?
Yeah, it's really curious. I mean, especially since in this model, I mean, there's two people. Well, we don't know who's in charge yet. So, like, how would they filter that between Blizzard, Activision? I mean, I assume there's a lot of communication happening, but it still does remain to be seen.
Yeah, because the Blizzard stuff also has the weird like regional accounts. So, like when you're going to play a game online, you have to select what region you're going to play in.
Yeah,
which I don't know if that's going to carry over to Destiny. I hope it doesn't, but that is a concern as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and finally. Well, yeah. So as you know, like it's coming to PS4 and PC, and the PC version you will be able to. It supports 4K, uncapped frame rates. But the thing is, where it has some people been worried that while the game is launching on September 8th on PS4 and Xbox One, we don't really know what's the status of the PC version yet. Will it arrive on the same day? Will it be a bit delayed? But Blizzard just came out and said that they'll share more information later this year. Yeah, so not really a lot there. Also, Destiny 2 will not have dedicated servers. So
yeah, people want dedicated servers because it provides a more stable multiplayer environment.
Right.
Because one of the things that Destiny players complain about is the lag situation.
Right.
Because it's all peer to peer.
Yeah. So, okay, and with that, I think we're done with Destiny's news. Unless you got anything else you want to share, Alex?
Yeah, two things. I do wish that there was cross-save support because I kind of do want to check out the PC version.
Yeah,
because that looks fucking real good. Because even though I know they haven't said or showed any footage yet from the event, which I'm kind of waiting for. I want to see that game run at 60 frames a second with like that high-ass resolution. But yeah, if there's no going to be any cross-save or even cross-play support, because all my friends play on PS4, I kind of have to play on PS4. And that's an actually weird thing, like the PS4 Pro version, although it can run at 4K in some capacity, it's still going to be locked at 30 frames a second. No 60 frames a second on the console. And the other thing I wanted to mention is the new class abilities on each of the classes. I think it's a universal class ability, so no matter what subclass you're on, you have this universal ability, and it's kind of like a mini super, so to speak. Like the Titans, they can throw up basically a little cover wall. The Warlock, they put on a little rift on the ground that can either boost your damage or will heal you or any one of your allies in it. So that's a cool thing. I'm very much excited to play this game. I know a lot of it. Like I'm concerned a little bit that it's gonna be a little bit more of the same. Like it all looks better than it ever has been before. But because they're starting from scratch, none of the old content is coming back to the game. I feel like there's going to be similar problems with the launch of the first Destiny, where like people are going to run out of things to do once they hit the end game, especially because there's only one raid for this game, which is another thing people are kind of disappointed about. But yeah, I'm definitely in for the ride, but I'm curious how much, like what lessons they learned from rolling out the first version of Destiny. Like, are we going to have the same problems with content and running out of things to do, or just doing the same things over and over again? I don't know. Yeah,
no, I think that's a very valid point, because our initial Destiny was there were some issues. There were a lot of issues that took some time to get worked out, and a lot of people felt that that's a lot of that didn't happen until a Taken King dropped and certain things were improved. So yeah, all we can do is wait and see. I'm quite excited. I want to get back into Destiny when this drops. And yeah, can't wait till...
You know what?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
What?
I don't believe you, man. I've never seen you on the first Destiny. I don't know. I got to take that into account when you're saying stuff about Destiny 2.
No, okay. No. You want to do this on there? We'll do this. We'll do this now.
Let's do it.
Okay. I played Destiny to like level... I would say... I think I hit 20, 22. Maybe. I might be totally wrong. I dropped Destiny because I thought it was a good idea to buy the Division. I did not like the Division that much.
Okay.
I think Destiny is a better... they're similar enough, but they do... There are some minor differences. There are differences, definitely. And I thought Destiny, at least when I bought it with the Taken King, was a better package. But like many things do, you just get caught up. You don't want you don't want to go back. Like that's it. Like I did like Destiny a lot. a lot. I got intimidated, however, because everybody was so much better than me when I was playing.
That's nothing. Like, people would be willing to take you under their wing, get you up to their level.
I don't know if that's an offer, but
I've put that offer on both you and Frank, so I don't know. It still stands. Guys can run some strikes together, maybe even do a raid or two. I'm down.
I think what I'm afraid of is I haven't played this game in such a long time that I feel like just blowing my character around and just starting from scratch. That's really how, if I would do it, it would be there. But then the game comes out in a few months. Like,
yeah.
So is there any worth? Like, should I actually try? I don't know. I got to think about this.
Yeah, especially if you don't have the game right now in your possession, it's probably best to wait.
You mean Destiny?
Just wait for Destiny 2?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like, I have Destiny 1. It's still on my PS4, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
No time like the present, man. Just dip your feet back in.
It's very enticing.
The water's fine.
Very, very enticing. Okay. I'm making no promises, but I'm greatly intrigued. All right. So, moving on. So, there's an article from Kotaku, which was reported by Ars Technica, that we're going to find out very soon if Valve actually owns Dota 2. Now, this has been going on for quite some time. It's like, this history of Dota 2 is kind of complicated, since the original Dota was a mod of Warcraft 3, and a guy basically stopped modding the game in 2004, and then Dota 2, which is Valve, but uses Blizzard, like based on Blizzard IP, it's all kind of weird. But there's a federal court case going because two mobile developers have tried to make two clones for smartphones: Dota Legends by Little Games, and Heroes Charge by Ucool. Just slimmed down MOBAs, and like, of course, they played a lot in China because that seems like it would be. But yeah, so very soon, like, the gist of this is, like, do these guys have the right to make? Are they in violation of creating these clones? Because Blizzard and Valve came to an agreement that since Blizzard kind of owns the rights to Warcraft and Dota, but they're cool. But if anyone else gets into it, that's where it gets a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're gonna find out really soon. I don't know if they actually told us, like, gave us a date, but a jury will be looking into this. And I mean, Alex, just for me, I'm a fan of Blizzard and Valve in general. And this story, I've known the history of Dota for quite some time. A lot of people do, and this has got to be one of the. I don't know if it's strange, but this could end up being something bigger if it goes in favor of the mobile developers.
Yeah, like, I had thought this had been resolved for a while, especially when Valve and Blizzard were going out and fighting for the rights to the name Dota. But yeah, now that this is resurfacing and it's going to jury and stuff, and it's I don't know, it seems like the most bizarre thing, especially because Dota is currently doing very well, it seems, for Valve, especially with all the international events and how much money they get for their compendiums and all the pot bonuses and shit. It's crazy. And now that this is happening, I don't know. I very much want to see what happens next, because if this does not go in their favor, then oh boy, it's gonna be a good time to sit on the sidelines and see what happens.
Oh no, we're going to see the floodgates open. It will be insane as to how that stuff works. I mean, not even just this, especially for things later. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I don't want to get to a bigger topic about, like, the mobile ripoffs of stuff, because there's so many. But I mean, this will have to be one of the biggest ones that that may be settled soon. So yeah. I mean, as always, we'll let you know if any more happens, and we'll see soon.
For sure.
All right. Next up, we're talking a lot about Blizzard today. A lot about Blizzard. So, Overwatch Anniversary event has kicked off this past Tuesday, May 23rd.
Yep.
And there's a little 4.5-minute video showing just the last year of Overwatch and a lot of the things that come from the community and the developers. And so, and with this announcement, there's going to be an event from May 23rd till June 12th. Now, exactly what entails the event is not really clear yet. We're going to get some more information soon. But one thing is that between May 26th and 29th, you'll be able to play Overwatch for free. Another free weekend for Overwatch on the PS4, Windows PC, and Xbox One. So, I have to actually try to get on it this time and try to remember because I still need to know how Overwatch feels. Yeah. Uh-huh. And Blizzard's also re-releasing the Game of the Year edition. So with that, it comes with like 10 bonus loot boxes, some hero skins, and some bonuses for a few other Blizzard properties. Trace a hero for Heroes of the Storm, a Winston pet for Warcraft, some Mercy Wings for Diablo 3, and some in-game portraits for StarCraft 2. So far there's no real announcements about what's going to be happening with this, but yeah.
Well, yeah, we know with the event because it's live now. It's just new skins, new stuff to get. I think the main thing is like they launched some new arena maps.
Right.
So previously they only had the one map, the Eco Antarctica map, but now there's at least two more. There's the Black Forest and Castillo. And those are kind of like, I think, offshoots of existing maps. Like, I think Black Forest is like in the area of Eichenwald, so it looks very similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
Castillo is, I think, close to El Dorado. So it's got that same flavor as well. But yeah, it's just there's no like specific event or new game mode like there was in the previous events. I guess aside from like the arcade stuff, because there is a new there's a new 1v1 mode, which I think before is just random characters. So you load in and you don't pick what character you are, but you and one other player are playing the same random character and see who wins. This time there's a limited 1v1 duel where you have like 3 characters to pick from. You guys, you and your opponent get the same 3 to pick from, and then you just pick whichever one you want and then duel it out as well. But I think that's it. There's maybe one other arcade mode. I can't remember what it is offhand, but that's basically it. But yeah, the anniversary event is just another excuse to grind loot boxes. I logged into the game, and the first loot box it gave me, I had a legendary, and it was just a pile of coins, and I'm like, fuck off, you goddamn Overwatch, and you start off the game, and loot boxes treat you very well, but once you get a certain amount of items, just the duplicate situation is just bad. It's like, man, it's too many duplicates, but I'm definitely going to be playing more Overwatch because, man, some of those skins look pretty cool. I don't know if you saw any of them.
Yeah.
But
I've actually looked through like a bunch of them. Look, like
that Genji one. No, that seems right up your alley.
No, that's my life. That might be my new. I actually might make that my new desktop wallpaper. Like that is. Oh, God. I love it because he's basically like a Japanese like superhero. Like it's called Sentai
in the game.
Yeah. Honestly, that one's dope. I like that. The Diva one's really cool. I mean, some of these are awesome. Like some of these are really, really awesome. Here,
I really want to get the Lucio one because I really don't like the way Lucio looks by default, but that one looks pretty cool. He's got like this Judge vibe going, or this Bruno Mars thing happening with him. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, like it is still a bit jarring that like his pants are the same, but like I get it. I get all that. No, but man, like all right, just be careful. Just be careful, man. I've learned how loot boxes can affect you. So I don't want, and trust me, from personal experience, I know this could get bad. So be careful.
I've learned. I know now. I'm not buying any more loot boxes, at least for Overwatch, because it just goes bad. Especially again, where I'm at in the game, it's just all duplicates all the way down. Not worth it.
All right. I'll keep.
But I'm going to be playing Overwatch, grinding it out because man, some of these I really like some of these skins and some of the dance moves. Everybody's got dance moves now, and it's kind of cool.
All right.
Actually, also I wanted to mention it's crazy that it's only been 1 year. For Overwatch.
It doesn't feel like it, right?
It feels like it's been longer.
Yeah, like it's so strange. Like it feels like Overwatch is inside the gaming community. It's almost like common knowledge. Like, yeah, we know Overwatch is happening. Overwatch is big. It is huge. It's going to be around for years to come.
Yeah, it feels like it's penetrated so deeply into like the culture now. It feels like it's been there forever.
Yeah, which is great for the longevity of the game because I can't remember. I really can't remember something grasping the people, like the community like this.
Yeah.
At just a wide level. Man, it's something. And I mean, the game can only get bigger. More characters coming out, more news.
More events. And yeah, like watching the trailer reminding what they've added throughout the years, like they've been putting in work.
Yeah, no, like you forget some of that. I was like, oh yeah, man, I forgot about Junkins.
And all that stuff, they put it out for free.
Like I almost forgot about the Olympic Games, and then like Junkenstein's Revenge. I'm like, that wasn't even like 2 months apart. Like it's very very quick. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congrats to Overwatch and congrats to Blizzard. Let's go to this event. Remember, this weekend, May 26th, 29th, you play Overwatch.
Mark your calendars
for free.
Yeah, and holler at your boy if you plan on. I'll jump on with you.
Okay. All right. Next up, we gotta get some. I don't know if it's sad news or obvious news. Red Dead Redemption 2 is being delayed until spring 2018. This is not a big shock. It's not, because it seems like with these Rockstar titles, like even like Grand Theft Auto 5 got delayed for about a year and a half. This is nothing new.
No, especially with how much or how little they showed with the Red Dead Redemption 2 announcement. Like, okay, yeah, we know nothing about this game. We've seen nothing about the game. It's not coming out this year.
Yeah. And, Rockstar basically said, we're only going to really release it when it's ready. Sorry about it. And there's about 5 screenshots here. Well, 5 or 6. And they're screenshots. I mean, they look good. They look pretty. But I just want to play it. Honestly, I just want to play. I love Red Dead Redemption so much.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I don't know what this game will be yet.
Yeah.
I'm so confused if it's going to be online multiplayer or it's so much going on. But
I'm sure there will. Like Grand Theft Auto Online does so well for them, it seems, and it seems only natural to do it for Red Dead as well.
But I don't want the whole game to be that. That's my whole deal. Because I really just
I doubt that is going to be that.
Yeah, I mean, all right, we'll see. Only because Grand Theft Auto Online has made so much money. It's made so much stupid amount of money.
Yeah, and GTA 5 still has its regular campaign, so I don't see any reason why they would ditch that, especially since they do so well with those campaigns.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, and finally, I mean, this is, we got this news very quickly. Like, funny enough, right before we started doing this. So it's being announced that Ed will be available next Tuesday. Ed will be available on the 30th.
Who's Ed? What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have. I got too hype. Street Fighter 5.
Oh, that Ed.
We know recently there was a little, Capcom Fight Network beta. There's a little beta put out there where you could play as Ed for the weekend. Now, I needed just to play it. I know you did, Alex. But now Capcom is announcing that on May 30th, Ed will be released along with the new balance patch for Street Fighter 5. And there's more, and I mean, there's going to be some more news coming. Yep, I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait. I really want to try this guy out. How about you, man? I know you've already touched him, but were you satisfied with the character? You feel like there needs to be some things changed before they release him? Like, what's up?
No, I think he's cool. I didn't get a full grasp of what he's even capable of, but he seems cool. I definitely want to spend more time with Ed and possibly learn some Ed. And it's just about time. We've known about, it's particularly about all the patch and balance updates for forever now. It seems like at least since March.
Yeah.
We've known what the new updates are going to be, and we've just been waiting, sitting on our hands, waiting for Capcom to bless us with this update, and it still hasn't come yet. So hopefully they hit this May 30th date for please. I just want this stuff now. Please just get back on track on some kind of schedule. Although the only other thing that was weird to me is the tweet that they put out was more news on May 25th.
Yeah,
which is the day this podcast goes up. But what other news do we need? We know the characters coming out. We know the balance stuff that's already been announced. I don't know what else is going to happen there, but maybe it's some extra goodies for us being so patient players waiting for this stuff to come.
Yeah, I think it's a bit weird. How much do you really want to announce, especially with E3 right around the corner? That since I know that Capcom has this partnership with Street Fighter 5 and PlayStation, so you would think that something would be released there. hopefully it's some type of timeline. I mean, that's just guess. That's just guessing. I have no clue what it could actually be.
Or maybe it's that Capcom Cup Champions Choice costume. I don't know.
Oh God, no, come on. that you know what? That feels like a Capcom move. Oh, there's more hype coming. Oh, we got new costumes and we got different colors. You can buy it for like $15.
Guess what, guys? We got another costume for Chun-Li. I know you guys wanted it. It's been a long time coming.
Where's the Rashid costumes though? Huh? I noticed that where's those birdie costumes? Give him a shirt.
For real, yeah.
Like a nice fitting shirt. I know he's a big man. He's a big guy, but you guys
get him a tailor. He works for the Kanzukis. They got money. They can afford a tailor to fix his stuff.
My new favorite Street Fighter lore is the fact that Birdie is such a bum. He is such a lazy bum. He just been living in their estate and getting beat up every day for years.
Yeah.
And just never tried to do anything else. Yeah. So he came in to foreclose, but yep. Hopefully we get a clothing update or some more news soon, and we'll let you guys know. And with that, that's it for the headlines this week. Back to you, Alex.
Great. Thank you very much. And I guess with that, we can move on into new releases. I'll guide you through that. So we got a couple of new stuff this week, the week of May 23rd. First up is the aforementioned Overwatch Game of the Year Edition. It's available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. I have seen, I don't know if this is an actual discount or the actual price, but it's been going around for $40 for the Game of the Year Edition. So that's, if you haven't jumped in yet on Overwatch, that's a pretty good deal. Also this week is Darksiders War Mastered Edition is finally coming out to the Wii U. Samurai Warriors Spirit of Sanada for PlayStation 4 and PC.
Looking forward to this, yeah.
Disgaea 5 Complete is coming to the Switch this week. Pax Nora is out for PlayStation 4. Embers of the Miram for PlayStation 4 and PC. And then we've got a couple of PS2 classics for the PlayStation 4. First of is Star Ocean Till the End of Time for PlayStation 4. And also Eternal Ring for PlayStation 4. We've also got Unit 4 for the Xbox One and PC. Arcade Archives Neo Geo The Last Blade for PlayStation 4. Arcade Archives Neo Geo World Heroes 2 also for PlayStation 4. And Bugs Box for PlayStation 4 as well. And then we've also got a PC exclusive release this week. Been a long time coming. Vanquish is now available on PC.
What? Say that again.
Vanquish is now available on the PC. It's about goddamn time.
That's right. That's right.
Let's come
ready.
home.
Ready. It's time. It's finally time.
Oh man, yeah. Now, like, what else is on the list? We gotta bring. Hopefully, Bayonetta 2 can happen. I don't know if Nintendo can relinquish or is willing to relinquish that hold on the game, but shit.
Man, I can't wait. That's the only. I need to play that game. And if they had a PC release, I would literally cry.
Yeah. We also have a couple of Friday releases this week. First of which is Rime for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Rime is spelled R-I-M-E. And this is actually surprising me. I didn't know this was coming out so soon, but Friday the 13th, the game is now out, or will be out on Friday for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that either. Huh.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of that game. I want to see more of that game because the concept is crazy. Like one player plays as Jason, everyone plays as the other camp counselors and has to try to escape. That sounds dope.
I wonder if you could do like what camp counselors do, like just we're gonna have sex, and it's like a 30% chance Jason will find you faster.
You just get marked on the map for Jason, like there they are, they're boning right now. You got to put a stop to that. Yeah,
they broke their virgin meter, so like I know I can smell them.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what that game is. Also out on Friday this week is Ultra Street Fighter 2, The Final Challengers for the Nintendo Switch. The fighting games just keep coming, man. Guilty Gear, Exard, Revelator 2 for the PlayStation 4. And then finally for Friday, we've got Get Even for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. I know for certain I'm going to be checking out some Revelator 2, and hopefully, finally, for once, learn some Guilty Gear. But yeah, that's going to do it for the new releases for this week, and that's going to do it for this episode. This is the 152nd edition of the Good Games Podcast. Thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for joining me, Khalik. It's been good being here. Talking games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to you guys, before we wrap up, I encourage everyone listening, head over to our home at innercitygeeks.com. There you'll find all kinds of geeky stuff that we get into, and you'll find all the archives for this podcast as well. And we got show notes for everything in there. And if you want to listen to more of the Good Games Podcast, you can also subscribe to this very podcast on pretty much everywhere you find podcasts: iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. We're on YouTube as well now, if you haven't heard. Still an audio-only show, but you can subscribe to us there and get your Good Games fix on YouTube if you'd rather get it there. I also encourage you, if you want to do any Amazon shopping, head over to innercitygeeks.com first. We've got an Amazon banner on the side of the page that will take you to amazon.com. It's just a referral link, and anything you buy there will get some of that in some, I don't know, some pennies or something that they send us. I don't know what that deal is, but we get a little bit out of that, and all that money goes towards providing more show for you. Also, if you want to follow us on the social medias, you have a Good Games Twitter at Good Game Podcast. Game is singular because character limits and all that on Twitter. You can also send us emails if you have any questions or feedback you want to send us directly, maybe not in a public forum. You can do that at goodgamespodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to follow us individually on social media as well, you can do that. Khalik, where can people find you?
You can find me at Dorset90 on Twitter.
All right, cool. And if you want to follow me directly, I'm at AlexNZ. And I think that will do it. We will sign off. So long, guys. See you next week. And until then, good games.
Good games.